I've got a very special glitter chime thing here because happy 10th episode today. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining me. Sorry, I think I'm having microphone issues. Thank you so much for joining me on this very special episode, of my 10th episode of Live with the Glitter Practitioner. I don't need my glasses on. And that's me, Dr. Nupi Aurora. And for those of you who don't know who I am the Glitter Practitioner, and I am a real life doctor in the UK, a family physician, general practitioner, basically. And I'm also a transformation and spiritual life coach and speaker and soon to be author. And what really lights me up is showing other people how to balance their health needs holistically and bring everything back into alignment. And today is a very special show, not just because it's my 10th episode today. I've got a really special guest on today called, actually, let's just get her on the show.
Oh, Ruby! Guess what? I have a surprise for you before you introduce me or anything like that.
I've got yours
So was anyone thinking, how did Rani get this? This was Nupi's gift for me. When Bruce came to visit me in Somerset, Nupi handmade this. If you don't know that she handmakes this kind of thing, she is amazing. I mean, I this is why I said, can I go and get something very important? And this is the one I wanted to show.
too. Oh, it
So,
looks really good.
and it's put in such a lovely place that it's to the entrance to my garden, by the way. And when we keep the door open, it always chimes. And when it chimes, I think about you, the glitter practitioner, my friend, Nupi.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much, Rani, for coming on today. I
My
really,
pleasure.
I love the fact that you're here for the 10th episode. I really do, because you are one of the first people who it was at mid-March, wasn't it? Early to mid-March. Apart from Veronica, who introduced me to Bruce, you were the other one of my first contacts I made on LinkedIn. And it was just, I was absolutely blown away by the fact that I'd met somebody in the medical profession who was enlightened, in Suraj's words, and also on the same page, really, when it comes to holistic understanding and holistic care. So please tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Hi. I can see Sorrel. Hi, Sorrel. I can see some messages from Sorrel, who I know very well. So I just said hello. So first of all, Nupi, thank you so much for inviting me, to your show. I've been looking forward to it. Like I said, this has been my highlight of the day, and we already had a very powerful conversation where I was like, oh wow, look at this, so lovely to connect. So I'm a coach, and I'm saying it right at the beginning. I'm a coach, and I also happen to be a holistic psychiatrist. And what lights me up is something similar to what lights Nupi up. For a long time, I felt dissatisfied with conventional medicine and conventional paradigm of mental health, and I felt there was something missing. And I started my journey with also like feeling very insecure. I had like low self-esteem issues and so on. And I felt that in order to pump myself up and to be a better person, I need to go on the personal development route. And it's a very long story. But what happened was I'm so glad that where I'm now is because of I think, listening to my heart and deciding that I didn't want to just train as a psychiatrist. I also wanted to parallelly just look at the other world in a way, because when it comes to psychiatry, it feels like you have to fix people, there's something wrong with them. Whereas in coaching and in that paradigm, it's like, let's bring out the best in people. So I've been doing it for some time, and where I'm is very landing really well for me. That where I want to show up is, and how I want to show up as in the world, is a coach first, because people are not broken. That's my key message, and how I help people is helping people turn back inwards and find that they're already whole, obviously through coaching, and it might take some time, but that's my work in a nutshell. I left my permanent NHS work as a full-time consultant psychiatrist. When was it? Like maybe a couple of months ago, or maybe
Mm.
just over a month ago. And I am in this part of really falling in love with what I'm what I'm already passionate about, and helping people through that means, through coaching.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. It just gets me all tingly, like like the fizz is, it's, yes, the fizz tingles that I call it. Um, Listening to you say that, and I know exactly what you mean, actually. For me, I guess as a community doctor, as a GP, it's really understanding or creating understanding for my patients and clients now of their own health needs, and but putting it into context of their life, their backstory, of their experience of what it is to be human. And it's just so rewarding when you start seeing little shifts here and there, and people are empowered to in the here and the now, in the present, as to, okay, I can govern my thinking. I do have a choice, and it takes time to come to this realization. But when you combine that with in a healthcare setting, my goodness me, oh, it the that's what you see, people transform their lives. And I, I think that stems from a lot of safeguarding work that I was doing, as well as domestic abuse, which I was one of the clinical leads, which I still am. And, very much a trauma-informed approach, but it is, oh, I just absolutely can't do it. It's root cause medicine, essentially, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just about pills. It's not just about do this, do that, because the doctor says so. It's very much preventative, and yeah, preventative and holistic care.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I think what you do and what I do, I guess, is if people just focus on the doing,
Mm,
it's so easy to say it's so hard. I can't do it, doctor. It's
mm,
very, very hard, because they are trying to do something, and then they're beating themselves up, because
yeah,
in a way they're trying to fix everything, and it's
yeah,
like it has to happen in an instant. What I help people see is that is shifting from who they're being, because
mm,
most of the time it's like being like a victim, feeling like a victim, or
mm,
being someone who doesn't have any power, who is
mm,
like broken. From that place, if you really believe that, and that's in your being, who you're showing up as in life, it'll be very easy to try something and say, nah, it's not for me, or
mm,
I'm meant to be broken for the rest of my life. So what's the point trying? I guess what in your conversations, although you might not use those phrases of being who you're being, that kind of thing, when you are providing the space and you are being that, and you see the goodness in the other person, you see
yes,
clearly that the other person sitting in front of you cannot be broken, despite their diagnosis of depression and anxiety, despite their, I don't know, osteoarthritis or
mm,
diabetes or whatever it is they're struggling with.
yeah,
And you just you listen from your place of deeply knowing who you are, and and you see that in them. The
yeah,
conversation that flows and the space you create is transformative in itself.
yeah,
And then the people realize that, okay, I was doing all this, but from my head, from my intellect, and I was just focusing on or was trying with my willpower.
yeah,
This is much, much better than just the willpower, because it
yeah,
lands with my heart. I know
Yes.
that I can talk to you about the heart. You're a heart-centered practitioner, and so am
Yeah.
I. So when people see that, I think the shifting happens, and they still, of
Yes.
course, they need to be doing, but it comes
Yes.
from the place of knowing that they don't have to choose to be or being a victim.
I'm saying hi to Kate Adie, by the way, for
Hi,
just
Kate. Lovely
randomly
to see
waving.
you.
I'm keeping an eye on who's joining us. I'll just randomly start
Hey.
waving. So, hello, Joe. This guy is amazing.
Hi,
What do I
Joe.
call him? Supersonic Boom Master is who he is. He's amazing. Um, yes, to get back onto what we were saying, absolutely. It's a privilege, is how I see it. As a in healthcare, there aren't many professionals or many professions, I should say, apart from perhaps healthcare and social care, where you are granted this VIP access. I liken it 'cause I love music. As you know, I love dancing and singing. It's like
Anyway,
being
yeah,
in it's it's like being in the club with like the gold rope VIP section, and you are allowed to go into that VIP section, and that's that's a privilege to be able to do that. And it's by allowing yourself to look and then just help somebody understand really what's going on. But it's what you said, which I think is so crucial. It's holding that space, not trying to fix. People who in my communities, a lot of trauma in the background, and where I worked was an inner city practice. And it's tough. People have really, tough lives, and they've experienced things that I wish I could wave a magic wand and, whoosh it all away and completely. That's a new word, by the way, whooshka. Just literally make it just go, right, okay, everything's fine again. And unfortunately, we can't do that. We can't change our past, but we can change how we respond and how we deal with the here and the now. And holding that space is so key. You're basically saying, okay, I hear you, I see you. And that in itself is such a powerful tool, which, being in healthcare particularly, and this is just humanity for me, but showing that compassion, but particularly so when you're dealing with somebody's life. And this applies to not just mental health, it's chronic health, it's chronic disease,
absolutely.
because, you're giving somebody perhaps a diagnosis which may change their life completely. And it's showing that this does not need to define you. You are still you. And there's always that. It's giving somebody hope, is what I would say as
Yeah,
well. It's
yeah,
hope. And that's so powerful. And it's unconditional, isn't it? That's the level of trust that the privilege that I think healthcare, social care get is it's that unconditional trust. You go to your doctor and it's very much, first port of call if something's wrong, and people might not recognize it's an emotionally linked problem, and it's presenting or manifesting as physical. And then you're holding that space just to delve a little bit deeper. I mean, I think it's an honor and a privilege. I really do. I think
yeah.
I love it.
Absolutely right.
Mm,
Absolutely right about it being a privilege. And I like what you said about validating people's
yeah,
experience.
yeah,
And I do think that all healthcare professionals, or most healthcare professionals who went into who went into profession for serving, they will do that. I
yeah.
guess the challenge is once people become a chronic patient, for example,
Mm,
then and you think, oh God, the person is having the same problem, they're stuck in the
mm,
same stories, and then you might become perhaps there's a term I'm trying to think there's a term for this, but you just feel no more empathic to the person anymore. Like
yeah.
initially you might be feel very excited to help them and feel a
Mm,
privilege, but maybe this is also a sign of burnout. Like when you have been
yeah,
stuck in the service, you think you're stuck in the service, and it's
yeah,
workload has increased, so on.
yeah,
So this is why how we show up as practitioners is
Yeah.
also very, very important. Who we are
Yeah.
being, not just
Yeah.
the person who's seeking services, whether it's a coaching client or it is a patient. It's like, who are we being when we are
Mm.
trying to be of service, when we are being of service?
Mm.
And any professionals listening to this, I think we all try to do a good job, but we
Yeah.
also bring our stuff to any conversation.
Yeah.
So when before any consultation, be it the coaching consultation or be it sales or any it doesn't matter where we are, perhaps we just take a pause and think, who am I being at the moment, and how do I want to serve this person?
Mm-hmm.
Even that those questions could allow us to settle down, our mind to settle down. And when we show up for the person, they might be still repeating the same story because they are not ready to move on, but you might see something different. You might see that
Yeah.
the reason why they are held back is because of fear, not because they're
Yes.
procrastinating, not because of anything else, but because
Yeah.
of genuine fear that
Yeah.
change is going to bring something horrible in their life.
Yeah.
And then once we see that, we can be gentle. We can,
Yeah.
in a very gentle way, we wake them up to the fact
Yeah.
that they don't have to believe this fearful thought. They don't have
Yeah.
to hold on to this belief, and we are there to support them. I think that's a privilege. But let's focus on us again, the
Yes.
practitioners and the professionals. Let's do
Absolutely.
it. Let's
We
look at internally.
yeah, absolutely. Because when you come, and I think it's tough, it's really tough at the minute, and it's, you know, seeing colleagues on their knees, and it's just people are exhausted. But in order to serve and in order to give the care, which is unconditional, you've, I don't want to use the word got to, actually. It is, it's actually vital to look in on self first and honor your and value your own needs and make sure that you are topped up in your own energy source and space. And then yes, you can give it all out beautifully. Yes, it helps you to connect better. You're then coming into consultations with that expanded awareness yourself. And I know the hard way when, as a giver and as somebody who wants to help. That's why I came into this profession, to make a difference and to help other people. Most importantly, I know the hard way what burnout does. And it is hideous. Oh, I will never go back there because it was my blessing that it taught me things that I wasn't taught in medical school nor in junior doctor training. It taught me what my needs were, and it taught me how to value them and ownership of them. You know, and actually the buck stops with self, doesn't it? If I'm not eating properly or drinking enough water, my physical needs are going to go right downhill. And then my emotional health is going to suffer because it's all linked. And
Yeah.
I think it's just really allowing, and I think healthcare professionals are the worst at looking in because we are so used to giving. And anybody who's listening to this, because there's just been such tragic news again recently about physicians taking their own life. This is real. This is real. And just please reach out, ask for help. And I know that in itself comes with fear from the physician. But
Yeah.
yes, Diana, my beautiful friend, well, she's more like another soul sister, soul
Hi,
connection. We were
Juliet. Hi,
talking
Diana.
early. I love her to bits. She's in the States and she's set up an amazing, basically just supporting of the physicians. And she was just saying, you know, we have physicians heal thyself first. Hi,
Yeah.
Shannon. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining. Oh, I forgot to say earlier. Sorry, Ronnie. Do let me know where you're tuning in from, people who are watching, because I always love to read comments and reply. And Juliet is saying it's vital we get topped up first and then we can give. Yes, absolutely. You cannot just, yeah, here you go, take this energy. Yeah, take this. Yeah, no problem. You can do that once you know how to replenish yourself. And that is where my F list came from in the first place, actually. It's everything I learned from burnout. And I created it. Well, it actually just happened during a consultation, and all the words were started with an F. So I very imaginatively called it the F list. And back then there were 5 Fs, and now there's 10. Um, and it's simple. Go back to your baseline needs. It's the F off and the focus and the breathe. That's so powerful in itself. Just center yourself back again. Just checking in, tuning into your needs. It's so important. It it really does anchor you down.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's so simple, isn't it? So what
Hmm.
happens is in mental health and everywhere, we are looking for complex answers, complex solutions.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, this is a very complex problem, so I have to come up with a complex solution. No, the solution can be very, very simple. Listen to your heart.
Yes.
And can I say something about why I use the hashtag mental wealth and why I call
Please
myself a mental
do.
wealth coach rather than a
Please.
mental health coach?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, I think this is a good point because then it will make sense to some of the things you're saying. When I intentionally I didn't want to use mental health term because, as you can imagine, that's the umbrella term, and people are talking about all kinds of things like how we need to look after our mental health and also like severe mental illness and or all the stuff. And I can understand why we need the term mental health and why people would use that. That's great, but I wanted to make a distinction. I think distinctions are really, really important. So that paradigm, I can see that might be useful to communicate or say we need to look after ourselves or people need help, and obviously people have a lot of trauma issues, and we need to support that. But what I wanted to offer, and you can say my uniquely what makes sense to me is not lose sight of the simplicity, not lose sight of our true essence. And if I
Yes.
just say I'm a mental health coach, I will be put in the same category. Oh, I looking at fixing people, I'm looking at diagnosing people, I'm trying to say what's wrong, and then you have to practice all these things. But I'm saying no, the answer is not so complex. You might seem like a complex human being, but actually you are acting out from your own, whatever makes sense to you, given what happened to you, given your circumstances. So it might be simple, but it's not like, oh, just going to practice overnight and oh, it's going to happen. It's an exploration. It's a journey in itself of
Yes.
self-discovery, looking
Yes.
inwards, and it starts with the helper themselves. So we have been saying here, like Laura also said, we can't help others from an empty cup. Absolutely. If we don't know that we know who we truly are, or we already are whole within and we have mental wealth, we will, so when something happens and we feel like, oh, I'm broken, or I can't do anything right now, or there's no answer to this. But
Mm.
when I say mental wealth, in a way I'm pointing to our true essence. So what happens is, rather than looking outward for an answer, of course we need help and everything,
Yes.
but we get quiet. We
Yes.
pause. We listen to
Yes.
our body's intelligence. We listen to the
Yes.
fact that we are having, we are going to have a burnout if we don't slow down.
Yes.
We're listening to our intuitiveness. We're listening to an
Yes.
intelligence that's within us. And then from that place, we show up as different. It might be like, I need to take some time off work. I
Yeah.
really do, in order to nourish
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
So that's really useful. And when we know that our mind gets quiet, the solutions come, our wisdom,
Yes.
shows up, and we
Yes.
are able to make some, what people would say, common sense decisions.
Yeah.
So when you are presenting the F list to people, but you have already created the fertile soil, they trust you, they
Mhm.
understand where you're coming from, because you see that for yourself. You see deeply. It's not just the
Yeah.
doing of the F list, it's like
No.
really understanding the core of what the F list is pointing to.
Yes.
So because you are doing that, people are relating to that, and people, your patients, they get a lot of benefit of that. Similarly, when as any professional, we look inwards and we are going through a self-exploratory journey of who
Yeah.
we truly are, then what happens when we see our own wisdom, when we see our own essence, we also see the other person's essence. We also know
Yes.
that, okay, something speaks to us, and they
Yes.
get it. They really get it, and that's true hope, because the hope
Yes.
is already inside. But as a practitioner, we are just allowing that to come out just by being who we truly are. It
Mm,
makes
I
sense.
love it. Absolutely. It's everything. So the whole reason, I mean, I do love glitter, obviously, because I love my glitter. But the real reason I changed general practitioner to glitter practitioner is because of exactly what you've just described. It's your own essence, and it is about when you know how to fill yourself up, and you know you learn the hard way, as many people, many of us do. When you know exactly, okay, right, oh, I get it now. Yeah, I keep myself in balance. What do I need to do? And you are literally radiating, which what I call, it's another makey up word that I've made up. Hashtag Fizz essence. It's your own inner
Yeah,
unique light.
yeah,
And we all have it. As human beings, this is what we are, the same in that respect. Backstory different, sure. Upbringing different, sure. My experience is going to be different from somebody else's, but we're all connected by love and hope and kindness, compassion. And that is that inner light. And it never goes out. It's always there. It just sometimes needs stoking or a little bit of activation going on. And when you see that come back, it's not just a seeing, it's a feeling. I'm getting it now. I'm getting the fizz tingles. I see the light come back into somebody's eyes. Oh man. I mean, oh, that's really the glitter. And you can feel it. You
yeah,
can really feel that energy of, again, it goes back to what you said before. It's validation, isn't it? It's about being seen, being heard, and having you as a person validated.
yeah. And that's beautiful, because we start from there. And I guess for some people, they might feel validated, and but that they might still think, okay, but I'm broken.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
broken. And I
yeah,
guess ultimately it's about what you just said, the phase essence, what
yes.
I call mental wealth. And so in one of my course, I talk about how to thrive and connect with your mental wealth, not your
Yeah,
mental wealth, because mental wealth just is, but how to
yeah.
thrive and connect with mental wealth. Can I give the acronym of thrive? Because it's like, yeah,
Please
I
do.
was
Yeah,
very proud,
come
like,
on.
I have a
I
tribe.
I'm like, it's acronym
I know, I
central.
know.
I've got one for you later, so you do
Yay,
yours first, and
okay.
then I'll do one.
I just
Go
wanted to
for
say
it,
thanks to
Rani.
Laura and
Go for it.
Juliet and Kate. They have been sending lots of messages, and I like beautiful, all of those beautiful comments. So
I
thank you.
know.
But coming to thrive, I know we
Yes,
say, oh, we need to thrive, or we are thriving, not surviving.
yes.
And so I felt like, just like what does thrive mean, and how can I put it down in a way that people can think about those as, like, same something to consider. And these are not like actions as such, but these are pointers for us, something
Yes,
to look at. So the first thing of the first one, the T stands for, which is the most important, is trust.
yes,
The trusting. Because what happens is, as we go about life, and then we think, okay, I can't trust this, I can't trust myself. But even before that, it's about trusting that there's a deeper intelligence in life.
yes,
And so I guess, I spent almost a month, yeah, we spent a month exploring what trust means to people, in one of my communities. But in the course, we just do it for 1 week. So the trusting is very important, because many people say, I can't trust.
Mm.
And then
It's
but what hope
crucial.
I have got. So there is something to explore there, to
Mm,
look, to see deeply. The trust is something that, when you have a deeper understanding of this essence of mental wealth,
mm,
trust will grow. You will find trust in you. So that's
mm,
the one about T. The H obviously stands for health, both
Yes.
physical health and mental health.
Yes.
And in terms of, because we have this form, we are here in experiencing life as a human being, and so of
Yes.
course we need to look after our physical and our personal mind. And so
Yes.
I talk to people about lifestyle in approach,
Yes.
and lifestyle medicine approach.
Yes.
And there are small things we could all do that
Yeah.
can in those 6 areas of lifestyle medicine that can really help, starting with our sleep, our relaxation, what we eat in our diet,
Mm.
a connection to people, and so on and so forth. I won't go into detail, but the R is obviously for resilience. And I
Yes.
say to people that, of course, there are things that we can do to improve our resilience. I call it acquired resilience. So we acquire,
Yes.
like, we go to the gym and get all this muscle,
Yeah.
that kind of resilience, and we get, we use our mind a certain way, but also have to explore what I call innate
It.
resilience, which is
Yeah.
already inside us.
Yes.
So that's the R. I is for impact.
Mm.
Just knowing that whatever we think will have an impact, whatever we believe will have an impact, that kind of thing. So we need to be very careful of what we are thinking, or be
Mm-hmm.
noticing, like, wow, I'm going into the negative spiral, and what's
Yeah.
the impact? And the
Yeah.
thought seems true, but is it really true? And that it's not, because thought comes and goes. Next time you have another one. But also the impact is about a purpose, because we all want to have an impact, even if it's
Mm.
like impact on our children, or impact on our clients, or impact on, I don't know, whatever it is. When we just show up as us and just be us, the impact is natural. We talked about it before, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
once we just know what our values are and our purpose
Yeah.
is, the impact just happens.
Yeah.
Like you say, you just manifest it, because you can't not do it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so the V is very important as well. The V stands for vulnerability and being visible. How
Beautiful.
many times people are worried about showing up because they are
Mm.
worried about being vulnerable, and or
Mm.
or people judging. Obviously, I'm not talking about crying out their heart and in social media, or saying everything in the past that you think you made a mess of. But
Mm.
it's like, okay, being okay to show up with all your
Mm-hmm.
flaws, and and
Yes.
show up as you, and also
Yes.
be visible that way.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
that also is important, because then once you see all that, then you realize that that's a journey of exploring
Yeah.
yourself, and how you were when you started the journey, and how you are now compared to that. And the final is about educating ourselves, and being aware of our experiences. And what you're doing at the moment is, I think, let me put it this way: you educated yourself first
Mm-hmm.
with your with your F list. You didn't
Mm.
say, "Hey, everyone, I've made this up. Come on, have it." You made something yours, but you looked at it, you explored it, and then you experimented
Yeah.
it yourself. And when it
Yeah.
makes sense to you, because I bet if someone else were to teach the F list, they won't be able to do a good enough job like you, because
Mm.
you are grounded in your F list.
Mm.
Similarly, I think, but different people will explain mental wealth differently, but they won't
Mm.
be able to, see it the way I see it, because obviously we
Yes.
are all unique. I'm not saying
Exactly.
that I'm going to be the best. No, anyone else
No.
can be the best. But it's like what we see first, and
Yeah.
then we share it. We share with
Yes.
love.
Yes.
Because we know that, like we talked about right at the beginning, there's enough of suffering going on, Nupi.
Mm.
And you
I
and I
know.
have seen it firsthand,
Mm.
being health practitioners. And
Mm.
our heart goes out to them. But we also know that there are quick fixes that we can all do.
Mm.
Medication, or CBT for 6 sessions, that's
Mm.
it. But for real transformation,
Yes.
something more powerful is to happen.
Yes.
So, so,
Definitely.
so the tribe, when I say tribe, I think these 6 ones are really key for people to explore. Like, let me look at each area and be honest with
Yes.
myself. Let me
Yes.
validate my own, where I'm not 10 out of 10, or whatever it
Yeah.
is, and then explore this and feel vulnerable. But I
Yes.
know that I am, how I show up will be how I look at this myself.
And that is plenty good enough. It's learning to let go as well, isn't it? And I think everything, oh my goodness, it's just we need to collaborate. We need to do some stuff together, because everything, it's in a different way. But it reminds me, actually, your Thrive reminds me, I'm sure you've met my Dr. Alex Rosa. She does Spice, very
Yes, yes,
similar. And
yeah,
I guess we're all speaking the same language. And if you break it down, it's essentially looking at our needs as a human being to thrive, as you're saying, and learning just a few things that actually keeps you in a balance. And, vulnerability is key because it's having the courage to show up and allow yourself to see, well, what's this showing me? It does not mean I'm a failure. What else can this show me? What can I learn from this to grow? And more often than not, there is always these things, but you need to understand how the balance starts in the first place. And there was something else that you said earlier, which really struck a chord, is this it's a combination of things, isn't it? It's not just a quick fix. This goes much, much deeper. And it's your mind, it's your body, it's your soul or your spirit. It's all interconnected. And learning little things like, you know what, I'm plenty good enough, thank you very much, as I am here and now. And allowing yourself to feel even the negative stuff. It's not about going, yeah, life's great, let's all be Pollyanna positives, yeah, 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 woohoo. It's actually going, okay, that sucks, but I can navigate this, I can come through this,
yeah,
because there is always a way. Because as human beings, we always have a choice. We get to govern what happens next. Once you know that, the mindset and the concept of that flip and the way we can govern our thinking. Oh, I could talk to you for hours about this. Seriously.
yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, I say same here. Very quickly, I think the problem is also that we are trying to be too positive, and we are putting
Yeah.
on a mask. And I
Yeah.
think most of the mental health issues could be because we are not being,
Yeah.
saying that, okay, I
Yeah.
have got crappy things. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry,
No,
using that
no.
way, and genuinely saying
I
that.
say a lot worse, don't
Yeah,
worry.
yeah, okay, yeah, and so it's not about just having positive experiences.
No.
It's not feeling scared
Yeah.
of our what we call negative experiences,
Yeah.
knowing that positive and negatives, they are all passing anyway,
Absolutely.
and that's not who we are. Who
No.
we are is this phys essence. Who we truly
Yes.
are is this mental
Yes.
well.
And the acronym I wanted to share with you, I'm very proud of this one.
Yes,
Right, are you ready? It's very
yes,
small. Joy. Just own you. So basically, what is joy? Joy is an abundance, isn't for me, it's abundance of this inner wisdom that you can tap into. It's when you are being and being present. And this does not go away. We all have it. It's like a power bank almost. I call it a superpower. This is how I would teach this either to children or to adults. It's your superpower, and you get to tap into it, and you get to fill yourself up with the things that bring you joy by just own you, own your needs, own your needs, take ownership of yourself. And then I've got another one very quickly because I know we've really gone over time today. Ross is going to kill me. Joyful. It is the 10th episode, Ross. So, I'm nearly done. Joyful. Joyful. Just own you for unapologetically living. That's
beautiful,
why
beautiful,
thank you. Why thank you.
beautiful.
I think we have to schedule some more conversations together.
They're coming, and
They're
you're coming to
coming.
me, see me.
I certainly am. Very quickly, because I know I have gone over today. Please, can you let everybody know how can they get in touch with you? Live the life you choose. Yes.
Thank you. Let's be lived up. Okay. Hi,
Hi,
everyone.
Tim.
So please, if anything I say resonate with you, I'm on LinkedIn. Just connect with me on LinkedIn. Say hello and what struck you about what I said. We have got a website called doctorsranisuraj.com. But if you come to my LinkedIn page, you'll find that, and just reach out to me and say what you connected with, and maybe we can carry on with a conversation. And I would love to know you.
Oh, and what's coming up?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
LinkedIn local connect. Kate, you don't kill me. So anyone here who has anyone they know from Somerset, which is in the UK, Somerset,
Oh, hi,
UK,
Sorrel.
please reach out to me and Kate, because we are, thanks to Bruce, by the way, we haven't even mentioned Bruce, and Bruce,
I did.
did you? Sorry.
Yeah, at the beginning.
Yes, of course. But
Oh,
Bruce is helping me. Bruce is
yes.
mentoring me and Kate launch our first LinkedIn local Somerset in October. So please reach out to me and
Yes.
help us find businesses in Somerset, because when it's all about collaboration, community, and Kate, I'm sorry, I can't remember the last one.
Connection,
Collaboration,
connection.
and community. Thank you. Thank you
Yes,
very
no
much.
problem. You're
Yeah. So reach
welcome.
out to me.
I'm the biggest cheerleader. I'm actually going to come down from
You are
Manchester.
coming.
Of course I
Yay.
am. I'm not missing this. And literally, I'm just going to be glitter bombing you because I'm staying over. Thank you very much.
Yes. No, I would love that. I would love that.
Oh, thank you so much for joining me today. And don't go anywhere. Stay in the green room and I'll come back and chat. Just very quickly before you do go, Sorrel was on earlier. So I said I'd have a wave out and a shout out to
Hi,
Sorrel Pinder and also her partner, Mark. Look, I'm wearing
Mark.
green. I'm wearing green. They commented saying green is really my colour. So I was like, right, okay. I shall wear green tonight because it's the special 10th episode. Right.
Oh,
I will come and join you in a minute. I'm
yes.
gonna hold on. I will jingle jangle you out.
Yay.
So
Let's
don't
do
go
something as
anywhere.
well. Yay. Let's beginning and end.
Fantastic. Oh, what a brilliant. Oh, I loved that. Apologies, today has been a bit longer, but I think considering I have entered double numbers today, I think it's allowed really. But thank you so much for watching and tuning in. As always, please tell me where you are watching and where you're tuning in from, be it on today on the live show or on the hashtag replay. And you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm usually on LinkedIn, but you can also find me on Instagram as the Glitter Practitioner, as well as Facebook and YouTube. So thank you once more for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Thanks and bye.